get rolling. Okay, so good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you're tuning in from. Welcome to our latest session of Elevate Live. We're here today for our final session of the day with Özlem Kaymaz. She's a holistic life coach. She's the founder of Rise and Shine Holistic Life Coaching. She's a public role model and keynote speaker. She's based from Turkey. She's a breath coach, NLP coach, and healthcare advocate. She is former Miss Turkey, a former national Turkish champion swimmer and kite surf. Windsurfer, wasn't it? Not kite
Yeah,
surf.
windsurf, yeah.
Yes, it's important to get that right. We had a kiteboarder on the other day, and I know there's a little bit of rivalry.
Yeah, there is a difference between it.
She's had over 500,000 views on her TED Talk. We're here today to talk about unconditional love. Özlem's got a really fascinating life story, and this is going to be a truly inspirational session here at Elevate Live. So I want to say a huge welcome. Welcome to Elevate Live. It's great to have you here.
Thank you so much. So happy to be here. I'm honored. Thank you.
My pleasure. So before we start, it'd be really useful. I'd love to hear. Obviously, you've got a very varied background from being Miss Turkey to sport and now into life coaching. Would you mind just sharing a little bit about your story and how you came into life coaching and holistic coaching?
Yeah, it's quite a colorful life as you read it like this. Being really a sports girl in the very young years, in the early ages of my life, and having the discipline and all the ability of to cope and to race and run and such a lifestyle actually in the very early age bring up to me at the age of 18 to take a place to the beauty pageant in Turkey in year 92, which seems so far away at the moment. And as I become that day the Miss Turkey, I jump into the modeling life in my country, and I become one of the top models, and I work like 4 or 5 years in that area. Then I fall in love and get married with a Dutch man and move out of my country to Holland. And I'm at the moment a mother to 3 children. And in my story, as it began like a little girl in the early age, a sports girl, then transforming in a top model and a very famous person in my country, I was quite searching all the time, like this should be the happiness. I'm on the top of the world, like I could make some money in a very young age. I could get married, have a child. I had first daughter. I was 24 years of age, living in Europe, out of my country, find the love of my life. I was really believing, and I was really certain of the situation that this is the top of the world and happiness means this: the success, the money, the marriage, the fame, and everything. Then suddenly, I realized when I gave birth to my second child, his name is Daniel, I was 28 years of old, and that he came with a disorder in his birth, not a kind of a mistake in a birth, but it's a child anomaly, it's a syndrome called Nager syndrome. And he began his journey in the hospital in Amsterdam for a year in intensive care, and following up to now in total 49 operations.
Wow.
The thing about his syndrome was the Nager syndrome, you don't have a lower jaw, and actually the one of the most important 3 qualities of life, which is speaking, breathing, and eating, was not able. So that the 3 things were blocked for all his life until the age of 8. We could understand each other only with the sign language.
Mm.
And the actually the heaviest operation series took place till the age of 8. I had to move to New York for operations for 3 years together with my son and leaving my daughter behind. So we had a really a life, a journey that it was based on saving him and trying to make his life quality better, because actually what makes him one of the unique children on earth, which I was just asking you before we begin, did you watch the movie Wonder? Because The Wonder is the movie of Julia Roberts, which is the story, she's playing the mother of Treasure Collins' child, which is a kind of a similar syndrome, their life story. And it's such a wonderful film and makes me cry a lot, because it's a kind of our story. Mother, father, daughter, which is wishing a little brother at the age of 4 and receiving a son just like Daniel, and all the story. You know, we also collect all the bracelets from the hospital. So the life actually was turning around him. And if you look at it, every family member has another story from their own prescription. So that was my kind of wake up call, actually, at the age of 28, that what is life about? And what is the story is unique of that he was born with 10% life quality, which we could bring up to 80% actually. So it requires a constant energy, constant, yeah, I don't know, my English is not that good, so, but we had to fight a lot and really put a lot of energy into the whole story. And what made me wake up to that, even if you're not able to run a life the way our brains and our educational system, our parents are waiting from us, or you know, everybody in your country and your surrounding, the society, which is asking you to speak so many languages, to go to that schools and to dress up the way they do and achieve the things, even if you cannot do all of these. Forget all of that. You cannot even eat or speak or breathe in normal way. You can still exist. So I began to questioning, like, what's happening? What is this? Why the human body is being born like this, and what we should do, what we should choose. You know, you really stay in between of life and death, and trying to survive with what you have in your hand. We always say back in my country, in Turkey, like, try to see the half of the glass full. Well, I was on a situation now, forget the half is full or what, there's a water. You have a glass in your hand. Just be happy for that, that you have a healthy body, that you can do all these aspects, which nobody wakes up in the morning on a normal base like, oh my God, thanks God, I can breathe. We don't do that. We don't say like, oh my God, thanks God so much that I can eat food through my mouth or talk and can say mom. So we had to wait for years that he could do these functions. And so, as I say, that was my wake up call, and I had to cure myself in this journey to not to lose my mind, because as you can imagine, it's a very difficult process to run a family, stay healthy yourself, and you have another healthy child, which acquires a lot of attention and love and everything from you. So I start to work with myself. The first thing spiritually in the world was doing a yoga. So, okay, I began to work with my body. So I began to get loose, and it was already years on the go. And then suddenly, this training, that education, then India, then breath, then this, then that. So it just grow itself. And I make a decision after 7 years that I realized one day I was pregnant. So I was crazy happy. That's why I still make a lot of speeches. I give a lot of speeches back in my country to the families that they are having somehow a birth anomaly children, or on the way something happens. We are from flesh and blood. Can anything happen to our bodies? That you get in situation that you get stuck with a unhealthy situation of a child. It's always nice to have another healthy child if there is any possibility, because it's a kind of healing process. So my third one, my little one, Dante, he was my healing process. And in that healing process, with learning all the techniques and the teachings to make myself able to not to live anymore in my brain, and try to decondition my 0-7 conditionings from my childhood. I began to realize that is all up in our heads. There is a prototype how a human being has to live, has to talk, has to walk, has to dress up. This all has to, you know. Who tells that? Who makes up the rules? So once I began to free my mind, I began to walk more freely, more happily into my own life. And of course, breathing exercises, becoming a breath coach, and meditating on regular basis. At this moment, I'm sure you did in your platform too, but everywhere there people are talking about how meditation helps to cope with the life and how helps to your immune system, the breathing exercises. So I began all this because of my private story and my private journey, and it made me end up to become a holistic life coach because of all the experience I built up myself. And first I wanted to heal and cure myself, because as we say, where the wound is, the light enters. And I did have a lot of wounds and quite a big one, so I had to heal myself. And once you learn how to heal yourself, and if you're already a person which is coming from extremely materialistic world, becoming a beauty queen, you know, like being so famous actually in 90s that I was not able to walk on street in my country, and leaving your country and having such a child and seeing the other side of the story, you become very aware. And once I learn the technique of these teachings, that I can bring all these to the other people and help to their lives, because we all cope with problems. It does not have to be a major things. But what I realize in my journey, actually, we are all souls, and we come to this earth to experience it as a human being, and we loan these bodies. And these bodies has a special working system. Once you have something in your mind, it goes into the emotion, and from the emotion you become a sort of being, and with that being you experience a fact. So once you look at back, you will see yourself that you bring yourself in so many troubles, because in the beliefs in your mind was talking to you nonstop to do this and to do that, which is not belonging to us. It's all your 07 conditionings. You just believe that the sound in your head, it's yourself, but it's not. And it is possible to free yourself from that. And as a spiritual beings, I always believe that there is a journey who is being planned. And once your spiritual being is getting so much in contraction with your life trying to be, you become to you put yourself into troubles. It's a kind of like GPS system, and you come to this world to experience being a human life, and there is a road that you have to ride your car, but every time your mind and society and your beliefs and your must do's are taking you out of the route, and then something in your soul, in your system, is talking like the new route is planned, the new route is planned, you have to go back in there. And how the system, how the universe makes arrange that, first whispers to you with some things like, come on, a little wake up call. You don't hear that whisper, then it begins to push you, or a punch. You still don't get your lesson, you still are not getting wake up, and then big things are beginning to come. Accidents, divorce, bankruptcy, you know, big things, or sicknesses in your body. You get cancer. So it's all wake up call. What I try to tell to people, if something happens, just stay calm, because you should ask like, why this is happening to me? Why always this is happening? We repeat the patterns. So we have to stop asking why, because I did ask like, why God give me this child? So that is actually the screaming period, like not accepting it. But once you accept and you go into the personal growth and you are changing your prescription to look at it, and you to start to ask like, what is in this experience that I can learn, that I should learn to become a better person, to change my life, because we are all made from love. That's why the name of the speech of the TED Talk was Unconditional Love, because children are coming on earth to actually show us, to teach us the unconditional love, because we do not love each other unconditionally. We always have conditions. if you love me back, I need you, I need you so badly to love me because I don't love myself. So, and controlling and fear. So our love is always based on these things. There is no pure sense of love, which is unconditional. Only you can experience that with a child, because children between 0 7, they are loving unconditionally. They're loving everything. They're loving every living thing, every human being. And if they do not love, they say that also. A big child can easily say at the age of 3, I don't love you anymore. I don't want to talk to you at the moment. But our grown-up minds, we have barriers. We have like do and don't list, so it's not appropriate. We will never take the courage to say our emotions. We don't talk anymore about our emotions. So my son also came to teach me how you can love another human being unconditionally, because we all have conditions for our children. As parents, we wait them to do something. We are like two types of parents, like carpenter or a gardener. We are on the earth, what I realize, all carpenting parents, we shape them already before they are out of our body. Like, oh, girl, okay, she will go there, she will study there, she will do this, she will dress up that. I will send her to ballet, to here, to that. Like a carpenter is designing something, and then to get that result, we begin with the children, and then we sculpt them to do what we want, actually, because we did not cure ourselves. We did not do any inner child work. So I was so lucky that God didn't give me a child that I can go with this planning, because we all do this. But for me, it was like, oh my God, what can we do with it? We don't know, because he was on a year in the hospital, and the first 3 months the doctors did not give me any information because it was not possible to measure it. He get the first operation at the 6 hours later. They placed a tracheostomy and laying down in intensive care. So we were asking, can he see? Oh, we don't know. He might have a sight effect that he might not be able to see properly. Can he talk? We don't know. Can he walk? We don't know. So you don't know anything. So that's why you give up also all the expectations, all the the dreams that you're gonna build up the child, that he's gonna be like this. Now he's gonna be whatever he is able to be. So then you become, out of the nature, a gardener parent, because what a gardener is offering to a child or to the plant, just the soil, the water, plants it in a place that's sure that you will get a sun, and protects from the outside world, the insects, and that's it. So I was not able to do anything else for him, only create the environment, arrange that he can be operated, and find the money for it, find my energy that I can give to him. So there I really realized that how conditionally actually I was to my daughter just 4 years ago. So it really was a wake-up call for me. Then I began to work with a lot of children, and I went into the pediatric psychology. I learned a lot, read a lot. So all this journey of 17 and a half years now, it teaches a lot to me. So I feel grateful every day to him, that he was my wake-up call. He was a big teacher. And in the end of this journey, I choose to 180 degrees to change my life and become a holistic life coach. And I am very happy at this moment that I can give classes, I can talk to parents and to individuals that they are coping with different kind of troubles. But I set up programs for freeing your mind. That's very the kind of a mindset, like you jump out of your mind, because it's not belonging to us. We need our mind, our left brain, to use it as being clever and just our motoric and daily basis things. But we are messing up too much our emotions because of our wrong thoughts. Thinking is the beginning of everything, and we have to learn the system of a human body and emotions and our energy field in our bodies, because we are spiritual beings. I have lots of people around me. When I began to talk about spirituality, they are really like, oh, don't talk to me about spiritual stuff. Yeah, then I am really getting like, wow, you're in deep, deep sleep, my friend, because what you think you are? Do you think really still, even to the after this period of COVID-19, that you are still just your body and your belongings? You should realize that you are a spiritual being, and this last 3-4 months of our lives as whole humanity on this earth, I would like to share my private part. We could save my son for 10 years without a track. He could get some flute drinking and not eating. He cannot chew, but he was able to speak. It was not the very best articulation, but he could make himself clear for the people around him in 3 different languages. But in November 19, it was for sure that he has no more airway, because the syndrome doesn't make to grow your jaw. So the rest of the body is growing, growing, growing. The last operation, the big one, was at the age of 10. Just 7 years he could hold on. So he had to go in surgery. And with the surgery, the life quality will bring up to 80, actually went down to under 50 again. So he can again not talk, not eat, and not breathe. This happened on 19 November 2019. I had to move out of my country because I was living in Istanbul. I moved back to Holland. 3 weeks hospitalized, and after the 3 weeks, we were almost entering to the new year. So I make a plan to myself. I said, okay, this is happening again, but now I have so many tools around me. When I was 28, this happened. I was just getting the wake-up call. Now I am, a little bit ahead. I did make some kilometers with lots of teachings, and I have it in my hand. What can I do with it? So I make up a plan. Because of my meditating status, I was able to stay calm and make sensible decisions about my life. Okay, move out of the country. My son is in this situation. It will take like maybe 1 or 2 years. This situation has to keep on going, and I have to do something. So I fall down again, actually, emotionally and literally in life. So I have to rise and shine again. Yes, can I do that? Yes, girl, you can do that. So the Rise and Shine Holistic Life Coaching Company born in January. And because I was in Rotterdam and I set this up, I reached to all the Turkish ladies living in Europe, and especially in Belgium and Holland, because it's in Rotterdam. So they came. So we make our launching, and I tell everybody about my classes, my teachings. I have a parent and inner child classes, and transformation classes, and the freedom of mind. So different things. These are all actually servicing the people how to deal with their problems in their life, and how to transform themselves, and how to realize and get the wake-up call, actually. And this began just before the house arrest of the COVID-19, and I was already online. So I was in baby shoes, and then the pandemic hit. And once the pandemic hit, actually, all the life coaches, actually anybody who is doing something with spiritually, finally, we could let our voices being heard. Because before we were talking like, guys, come on, life is not about the plazas and money, and everything is more and more and more consuming. Just wake up. We are human beings. This is not natural what is happening. And finally, we did not even have to say something. Everybody realized after spending 5 days back at home, and the whole world was jumping on each other like, we're going to save the world. We have to do something to save the world. What an arrogancy of humanity to try to save the world. I mean, who we are to save the world. It was just 7 days the worldwide pandemic, people were back to their homes and planes stopped, traveling stopped, this and that. We all see that it took just 7 days for the earth to clear and rejuvenate itself. The water gets clean, the air gets clean, everything starts to bloom. So we have to realize that we are not the most important beings in this universe, but actually the least important thing we are as humanity. Because there are lots of precious people that I do follow their speeches, that they say if the ants, the whole ant nation is disappearing out of the earth, things will go wrong in the nature. After 2-3 years, some other thing in the ecological system will crash down. If all the other insect groups are total vanishing out of the world, everything will collapse in a certain amount of time. Only if human being is disappearing out of the earth, nothing will happen, and the earth will just keep on going to be earth with no disturbance in the ecological system. So sometimes we do see funny caps like, who is the real virus? And they put the human face there. And yeah, we do realize something. So I hope this will be a big wake up call. And it's certain that some people will not get the wake up call, which is fine, because the whole earth, the whole humanity, the whole system is duality. If there is a sunlight, there is a moonlight. There is a good and a bad. There's always a duality, and the duality makes the perfection. And yeah, as I watch my own experiences, my own journey, and the whole world and the humanity, I just see that there is only one real emotion that human being is carrying, that is love. We all know that now we are the only living creature that's able to have a being because of our thoughts. We are the only one. Dogs are always dogs. Cat is always cat. Cat behaves always like a cat. But the human being can be sometimes loving, hating, tricky, jealous. We can all choose these emotions in one day. We just switch. But do we switch that with knowledge? Are we doing this with consciousness? We lost our consciousness. We're doing nothing with the conscious feeling. And that's where things are getting jeopardized, what I realize. And the love is the only emotion that is real and is being born with it, that we can give to the whole world. And the source is in us. And sometimes we have to just connect and click ourselves to the source. And that's with the help of anything. Also, practicing your religion is a kind of plugging back to the source, sort of meditation. You do that with yoga, with breathing. Just stop and listen to your body, to your cells, to your being, and to your energy field and everything. You will get that refreshment and actually your little wake-up call, like remember who you are and what you came for to this earth. We all think that, okay, we came here for doing this, doing that, achieving this, achieving that. So unconsciously, from our conditionings, we just go and live lives, and nobody stops and looks back. Just run, 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 run. And suddenly now, because of the pandemic, we stopped. Not because we want to stop, but the whole system just stopped us. It's not even a living creature. Huh? The virus actually is a protein, blah, blah, something. It created all this. So once we stop, now people are really in panic. There is a lot of anxiety around the world. So now world needs healers, coaches, people working in spiritual world to help the others, because all the happiness, all the expectation for love and any kind of other feeling what we actually produce to the outside world, we wanted to have that from material world, from the holdings we build up, from the fame, from the likes on the social media. Everything was from outside being fed, and partially it had to stop. Now we are asking like, oh, what am I doing? What I was busy with. And again, I say love is the only answer, and love is the only feeling that human being has. All the rest is pure your reaction to the outside world. All the other emotions we carry is actually sort of fake emotions. They are not belonging to us. There's only your reaction to what is happening. But to take an action and to mean something for the world, you have to be able first to know yourself, localize yourself, understand that you are a spiritual being as a human, that you can choose your thoughts, you can choose your being and your actions, and only creating a system that serves to you, become the champion, become the CEO, becoming whatever, just becoming being for yourself without any benefiting to the whole, it's not gonna work out anymore. World is showing that. And suddenly now you see a lot of people helping each other. They are singing, they're giving flowers, they're sharing their bread, they're sharing their emotions. So many companies, people, doesn't matter who they are opening their facilities, sharing their services. People are helping each other. Finally, we are a little bit finding our way back based on love. And I really wish that every human being can taste the beautiful feeling and that consciousness in the unconditional love. And you know the old saying of Andy Warhol, like everybody on the planet will get for 15 minutes fame on the television one day, which almost came true, I think. Isn't it? Like everybody gets that 15 minutes of fame. So that's my wish, that everybody will get that 15 minutes of unconditional love feeling before they close their eyes to the human experience on this planet.
Wow, powerful. I mean, I hope to have more than 15 minutes of that. Now, there's so much within there that I'd like to explore. So, firstly, when I was 28 years, I don't have children yet, but when I was 28, I don't think I would have been ready for any child, let alone a situation that you face, which, undoubtedly, I would suggest most parents wouldn't be prepared for how do you prepare for something like that unless you have advanced warning. So it sounds like you've been on an incredible journey of self-discovery, self-healing, personal transformation, spiritual discovery. How long was it before you were able to start making that transition? Because obviously, at the beginning, it sounds like there was a lot of pain and
Yes.
questions and frustrations. So how long was it before you were able to start to find new answers for yourself?
Well, the period of rejection, which is happening, that's very, in the psychology, is very normal. That was quite short because I was so lucky. I always believe it's not a religious belief. It's as a human being, my belief that it doesn't have to be called as God, Allah, or Buddha, or this or that. It has nothing to do with it. But I do realize as a human being that there is a greater power than us. Once you have such a child, you are in a civilized country. There are doctors, hospitals, so the help is there. They're trying. You're providing everything you can as a human being, but still, nobody can help it. And that's the moment you go on your knees and you beg and you're like, please help. And yeah, who's going to help you? Everybody is already there. You are so lucky, because not everybody is so lucky. Yeah? There are so many countries that you don't get the medical supply, not even a doctor. So I was so lucky to get all these. Still, you cannot help your child. So that's the point. You are on your knees and begging for help to a greater something, whatever you believe, it doesn't matter. And there you realize that it's a kind of connection that is all happening because it has to happen this way. And a letter came to me. Actually, it was an email. Somebody sent me from internet. It was a story that God is sending the babies to the earth. And that was the a little email with kind of paragraph, click and change my way of thinking and feeling. The transformation happens on the moment. It's not like it take me 2 days. No, it just happens. Something is happening and bang, you're getting the wake up call. And it was such a beautiful story that God is sending children to the earth. And the head of the angels is arranging this. So this child has to go together with the Saint August to the family Johnson, because Saint August is how you shall say, like, is okay with the family that they're fighting a lot in that family. Obviously, that Saint August can handle that as a guardian angel. Then they're sending the kid named Mary to that, and this to that, this to that, and it comes to the disabled child, to who they have to send. And the God is making the decision, you send to that woman. So the head of the angels is telling, oh, God, so sorry, but it's a disabled child. And this woman is career, famous, money, this and that, and like it doesn't fit into her life. God is telling, listen to me. She is a woman that she is enjoying her life. She knows a laughter. How I can send a disabled child to a woman who doesn't know a laughter? So, okay, Angela is telling, okay, there is something in it, but she is selfish. She is so selfish. She won't take care of this child. God is telling, the disabled child needs a bit of a selfish mother. Otherwise, the mother will go into the world of the child and they will be devastating together. So she has to be a bit of a selfish to take him out of there and bring it up to the normal social life. So there's a kind of dialogue between the head angel and the God. And now at the end, Angel is really like, oh my God, and saying, I don't know how to tell this, but sorry, God, but I think she does not believe into you. And the God is telling, don't worry, my child. She will believe into me the first day her son will call her mom. Now, I was reading and I was like, oh my God, because the type of the woman was being explained. This was kind of me. So disabled child was actually sort of my gift. A present to me, sort of my wake-up call to show me the reality, what is all about. And I am the only one who can really do all these things. I was really like, oh my God. And then the final question comes. The head angel is saying, okay, which saint are we going to send as a guardian angel with this disabled child to this mother? God is telling, just arrange a mirror to this woman. She can look up and see her own angel. Now, I was really like in tears. Yeah, so I am my own guardian angel and his guardian angel. And being a mother is, okay, we should not put the fathers aside, of course. You know, this is a teamwork, has always been a teamwork, but mother has another connection with their children. We do carry them 9 months. That's not like a saying like, okay, you carry 9 months, but so what? There's a mother and a father. No, it's not like that. The connection is so different. We are telepathically having the connection. And that was already a couple of weeks later than the birth. And this letter changed the way I look to the whole story. You know, instead of pitying myself, instead of getting devastated or angry or ashamed or whatsoever, I was like, oh, I am the chosen one for this child. Because not like we are all perfect. It's not possible. You know, there are so many disabled person from the birth afterwards in the whole nations. So I'm the chosen one, so I have to get to work and do best out of it. So I did, but it took a long time, all the suffering and trying to find my way. And finally we come to these days that now I am able to inspire the people to never give up, always believe in yourself, and trying to get out of your thoughts because they are not yours. the thing, person, the sound. You can do dialogues. The 17 dialogues you can have there if you're very good mind person, and to realize that. And there are so many tools to explore that that's not you and yourself, with meditation, with breathing exercises, and with everything.
Would you be able to share how some of those tools have helped you, particularly overcoming the situations that you've been through and through your own transformation? Would you mind just sharing a little bit about how you've used those and how people can benefit from using them themselves?
Yeah, and I did a lot of things, and at the end of my journey, actually, it's very precious because I collect my own experience and set up my own educational program. I really literally write down kind of synthesis of everything what I mix and match up together, especially for the people where they are living in the busy cities. I'm a city girl. I grew up in Istanbul, born and raised. Is now 20 million. It's really crazy out there. And in that life, if we are getting on our road, on our routine, on our expectations from life, a change, a big bomb, something like, whoa, I was not suspecting this, that life will do, then whoop, depression, anxiety, antidepressants, then we are trying to numb our emotions, then you're on a place that you don't know how to get your help. Now, the first thing is I am starting to work with group of people. You can choose to enter to the groups. We are giving that online. That's the transformation atelier, I call that. At this moment, name is in Turkish, but I will publish it in English as well. And in that atelier, in 14 days, I'm giving 3 lessons, and I'm bringing you to a journey that, first of all, you have to know who you are. You have to find yourself, otherwise nobody will be able to find you. And you can be this and that as a status, and then no, not that, not that. I'm a woman, you're a man. Okay, not that, not that. What are you? Human. We are human, and what it means being a human. We begin from there, and I really teach the system of what it means being human, how the system works, how the universe works, what are the laws, the 7 laws of the universe. It's not only what is inside working, also the outside. And now we are bringing up that all together with meditation, breathing exercises, lots of mind work, and then it keeps on going with the freedom of mind. We jump to the second classes, and in between we are doing so many breathing and meditation exercises, and we follow up with the trick questions, because that's being a coach. You know, I cannot show them where is the target. It's a road, it's a journey. People has to walk themselves. I cannot push them from behind. I cannot pull them. I can only walk next to them, and with the technical questions to let them realize the darker sides, the non-used parts of their potentials, that they have to make the decision, okay, I want to go there. And that's my authentic being, actually. Decondition yourself in the mind ateliers and reach out to your essence and self-actualization, actually, what we have to reach. That's the pyramid of the Maslow as well. You know, we first need the food and everything, then we need the sensations of like, okay, I have to have the trust and I have to survive. So, and the top of that is the self-actualization. So I walk next to them, but they are the one who has to walk. They have to do the work themselves. And this is transformation is actually not learning something. We don't learn anything new. The knowledge is everywhere. Open up internet, open the books, watch the films. Everywhere is information. But knowing and knowledge is 2 different things. If once the coach or your spiritual person that you're working, therapist, psychotherapist, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. If you take a teaching, you do the courses, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, it doesn't matter. You get the diplomas and everything, and you just transfer that to the people. Now, that's a way. There are a lot of spiritual people working in that situation. But once you are in the deep shit, as myself, then you get the teaching, you apply them in your life, you experience them, and you do have fuck ups, and then you try the other ones, and then mix them all, and then bring it. then you really know what you're doing. It's not like carrying the teaching, but being it. So it's not about doing it, but it's about being it. And once you become that person, when I'm giving a lesson and I tell about things, the energy just being of myself flows. And it's all about. It's also for parenting. I always say to all the parents having trouble with their children, my child doesn't sleep, doesn't listen, doesn't do this, doesn't do that. And parents are wanting them to do specific stuff, but they will always follow your being, not what you are telling them to do and to become. Who you are, your child becomes the same. The most simple way is like the iPhones. We are on the iPhone. You have to read books. I told you to read books. The child is like, why, mom? You never read book. Why I should do that? They copy what they see, what they experience in your being. That's why first be and then do, not the way around, do and then be. And also the law of attraction works the same way. Yeah? You cannot attract something just with wanting in your mind, because that's just in your mind and you're wanting. Your frequency doesn't match to that. So we do transform, we do teach, and I really help the people to unlearn everything what they learn till the age of 40, 30, doesn't matter. Now I'm gonna really, I like to work also with the teenagers, because why suffer till 40? You know, begin in your 20s. My daughter is 21 and she is in my system. She is in Rise and Shine. She is one of the younger generation of rising and shining ladies. It's the best, because we did suffer a lot because of our minds and how we think the system was working, you know. Everybody has believings. I see that also in the during the lessons. They say, yeah, we have to work hard. We have to work hard. No, it's not. Who tells that? Who tells that you have to work hard? Look at the nature. You know, does the sun tries to work hard to come up? Or the leaves after the winter? Is it so hard for a tree? Is the tree pushing itself to give the new leaves, new flowers? No, everything happens naturally. Why work hard? Just be constant, be conscious, and work on your things, and that's it. So this kind of little things, you know, the laws of the nature, the universe, actually. And what happens? People are slowly, as an onion, you know, like layer by layer by layer, you reach to your essence. So actually, it's not something that we have to go there, but it's more like go back to the roots and unlearn everything and reach to your essence and build up yourself again. And it is possible. Because when you're asking the trick questions, we all know all human being is reacting the same way. And one can change, all can change. We can all feel love, we can all feel united, because you and me are the same. We are all the same, but then I am also very unique in that be wholeness.
So I have a question here then to finish up, really, because obviously you had a deep moment which gave you the opportunity to rise and shine, and then it's almost, it sounds like it came in multiple moments, but you obviously the birth of Daniel, and then receiving that letter that you shared, which made you see things differently. And you then went on a period of transformation and evolution, and you've had all of this wisdom that's resulted, and you've changed, and you've become the person who you are today. And we hear a lot of stories about people who go through adversity and then they have these realizations, and to some degree I suppose we're at a collective adversity now with the COVID-19.
Yeah.
However, my fear is people won't get that opportunity. They won't take the opportunity to rise and shine, either individually or collectively. So what would you say to someone, or what would you suggest is how can we as a humankind, how can we take this opportunity collectively now to rise and shine, to have this moment without having to go through personal adversity? How can we make that choice to rise and shine?
Well, start individually. For the higher consciousness and collectively to getting the healing, we have to first heal ourselves individually. If we want a better world, We cannot just shout out from the moment we are staying in and like, get a better world, become a better, like we have to first work on ourselves, heal ourselves, because every human being healing and waking up, that is a spiritual being, and how to live like a human with respecting all the other alive everything. Then suddenly I think we will see the change, and it has begun. I see this. A lot of people are getting the classes. They are slowly waking up. The anger and the frustration is also getting back into the frequency where it belongs in the human being. Then and slowly things are happening. I think I am happy. I'm thankful to the COVID-19, to be honest, because I consider it as a wake-up call. We have to be, of course, upset and condolences to all the losses that we are giving as humanity, but we should think ourselves as the ocean. A couple of weeks ago, there was two famous top models in the world. They are in social media phenomena. One in Italy was really crying over, was pissed over Corona and all the losses and the situation. And the other one back in Holland, another very famous person, was being thankful to Corona because of this awakening in the human being. But both of them is the duality. Both will exist. We should see ourselves as the whole ocean, and some fish are dying, but in the other hand, the nature is clearing up itself and the water of the ocean is being more crystal clear. So it's life, it's ecologic, it's turning. There's losses, there's newborns, and it keeps on going, it will keep on going. We just should serve to the whole of the humanity as a one person. Just begin with one. If I can touch one, change one, one is one, then it's two, then it's three. It just goes like that. Never give up.
Well, thank you for sharing your amazing story. And there's a real inspiring, hopeful message within all of that for all of us. And what a great place to finish in terms of if we can heal ourselves, then we can heal the world. Together, individually and together, we make up this planet. And it's fascinating what you said earlier about we think we're the most important things on Earth, but it somewhat is an illusion, and actually life goes on without us. So it's up to us to make the experience, given that we have this gift of life as human beings, to make it the most loving, beautiful experience that we can. And part of the work we're doing here at Elevate Live is to try and bring stories like this to help us transform one individual at a time, so that collectively we can elevate our consciousness and enrich the world. So I want to thank you so much for sharing your unconditional love here with us and the Elevate Live audience today. It's a heartwarming story. You've obviously been through great pain, but out of it has come great healing and great love. And it's beautiful to hear how well you and Daniel, and Daniel's story as much as your story. So I want to thank you and honor you for everything you've shared with us today.
Thank you so much, and you're doing a good job. Really, it's a good platform. Then people can hear other stories and get inspired, and maybe we become somebody else's wake-up call just with the story sharing. Yeah?
I do hope so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So the last thing I want to ask is, for people, if they want to find out more about Rise and Shine, where would be the best place for them to come to learn more about being part of the work that you shared?
Yes, Rise and Shine based in Rotterdam, and on Instagram page is rise.shine.nl. NL is Netherlands, and I think you're gonna tag me on my Facebook
I will.
page.
Yes, we will. Yes.
If they want my name, they can also reach me from Instagram. Instagram I like as a platform because I like photos. I have 3 kids and a colorful life,
Yes.
There's a lot to share, and I'm doing live broadcastings and everything, and I'm giving lots of Zoom online teachings. And on my website, which is my name, özlemkaymaz.com, there they can reach. And the English-speaking classes are opening soon in actually kind of 10 days. And we will begin also to work with international, and in each case in Europe. Well, from England, I have lots of students. They're all Turkish at the moment, but slowly, because human is human, we are all sisters and brothers. We are the same species, so we're gonna help each other. It does not matter the nation, the belief, the color, the skin, nothing. I am working with beautiful human beings. We are all so beautiful. We deserve to learn about ourselves and systems. So,
Thank you.
waiting for everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I'd love to, when that's available, I'd love to share that. So please do share the details, and I'll make sure our team will share that with everyone for Elevate Live. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye all.